It's like flying, it's like being a little bird and just being able to go anywhere.
If I could be Superman, this would be it right here.
This is first-person view drone racing. Part virtual reality, part engineering feat, part video game. It's an internet sensation that a small group of fans and entrepreneurs are trying to turn into a mainstream sport.
From a visual point of view, it could be bigger than football.
They've already raised tens of millions of dollars and have the attention of major TV networks.
It's the sport of tomorrow, and we're just at the beginning.
But there's no blueprint for turning a virtual phenomenon into a real-life sporting event.
I'm using video all the way. I got no video.
One of my fears for drone racing is that people will create events that will get attention because of the novelty of the concept of drone racing. But if you continually promise and don't deliver, people will lose faith that this can be all that we hope it can be.
It's weird. It's like a group of people get together to do silent meditation. Everyone's blinded to the world around them, and for a few minutes, they're leaving their bodies on a spiritual journey. When they come back to it, they come back almost enlightened.
A few years ago, a botched surgery left Zoe Stambach bedridden for months. Nerves in her lower body were severed and will never fully heal.
And then you have desk here that swivels.
She has trouble standing for long periods of time and has to work lying down.
A lot of my friends became really distant because they rode motorcycles, and that's what we did together. We rode motorcycles. When I got into FPV, it just changed everything. I started getting into this whole other world of friends that are into the same kind of geeky tech stuff that I'm into, and just lifts my spirits.
Last summer, Zoe was invited to participate in the first major American drone racing competition in Sacramento, California, offering $25,000 in prize money.
The money is needed. I need to pay rent. I would love to be a professional drone pilot to race these things. That's definitely the dream.
This was basically the Super Bowl of drone racing, the first big test of its potential offline appeal. And the first time this many pilots, drone geeks, builders, investors, and sellers all came together under one roof.
Well, the name of the game is to do what you love, right? So if I can figure out how to make this, something that I'm doing every day, I'll take the biggest pay cut.
Probably the most well-known racer here is Carlos Portoles, known as Sharpoo online.
When I try some new tricks or something new that I never tried before, you definitely have that adrenaline rush. This is, in a way, a really nerdy extreme sport.
If drone racing has a poster boy, it's Sharpoo.
He's popular, he's cute. I had a crush on him when he came out of me. Like he had a little dimple and that little hair thing. Yeah, he's adorable. And the fact he's a really good pilot, combine those two things, it worked out for him.
Sharpoo's videos have been viewed millions of times, and he's one of a handful of racers here with a sponsorship deal, which pays for his drones and travel.
Well, I mean, just bring one tomorrow and be like, here bro, have one, you just play with it.
Not exactly enough to quit his day job as the head of animation at DreamWorks.
So there's all these internet heroes and legends that are coming, but there's nobody that's got a poster on the wall, or there's not one that's on the Wheaties box, and so National Drone Racing is in some ways an experiment to see, can it scale?
While every sport now generates viral video clips, drone racing is arguably the only sport to begin with one, just a year and a half ago.
I think, oh yeah, let's do a drone race. Okay, but where? I said, well, in the forest, of course. Hat down.
A group of friends in a small town in France shot this on their lunch break and posted it to YouTube. Dozens of viral videos have followed, raking in tens of millions of views. And now, Hervé is helping organize the Drone Nationals in an attempt to translate the virtual excitement into a live event. But there are still a lot of technical challenges that need to be overcome.
Jesus, dude, the video's out.
Racers were having a hard time connecting to their drones. The live video being played was hard to follow. and the 100-degree weather just added to the frustrations.
We have to get this quicker, you guys, come on.
And there was a bigger issue. No one came to watch it. Watching a live drone race, it turns out, can be pretty boring.
I think there's more people watching the live stream, and it seems like that might be, like a better experience.
If this was a test to find an audience, the Drone Nationals failed. And other racing events held since haven't fared much better. This one in New York City by Aerial Sports League drew more spectators, but we're talking hundreds, not thousands. Nothing compared to the audience drone racing videos tend to get online.
You were promised Star Wars and you got a Saturday afternoon barbecue in a field. If what you're promising people is a sport, if what you're promising people is a spectator experience, you have to deliver that.
Nick Horbachowski thinks drone racing needs a different strategy. He says you have to start with videos if you want to build an audience. Nick spent the first part of his career transforming Tough Mudder from an unknown mud race into a national phenomenon. He thinks he can do the same thing with drone racing.
We got to tell a lot of people that drone racing exists and explain what it is to them so they understand. Then we need to take those people, we need to convert them from casual viewers or interested parties into true fans. People who have an affiliation with a pilot or want to know the result. And I think once you've got those two things, then you've got to offer a compelling live event experience.
Welcome to DRL Drone Racing League Level 1 Miami.
His league has announced funding from a range of sources, including the Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross, the lead singer of Muse, and the talent agency CAA. They've had one event and are planning 5 more this year, all close to the public, all with the same goal in mind, showing people how exciting drone racing can be, and then building a fan base for individual racers. Then the draw becomes as much about them as the race itself.
It's something else when you tell your kid that he's coming to a drone race in Miami and he tears up.
Because of this, they've faced some criticism for looking too much like a reality TV show. The trash talk does seem a bit staged.
The competition is just a bunch of nobody scares me.
And some of the spectacular crash sequences, we were told, were made more spectacular by loosening the drone screws. But fans say this criticism, as well as the challenges for live events, are all just growing pains of building, say, the next Formula One. And things do seem to be moving in that direction.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
The organizers behind the Drone Nationals just announced a partnership with ESPN, which will live broadcast their next 2 events, the 2016 Drone Nationals and the Drone Worlds. With more than $10 million in funding since last summer, Scott assured us these races will look and operate a lot smoother this time around.
Nick can have the reality show stuff. We put our money into live sports, and we're perfecting that. So that when you see it on ESPN for the first time, you're going to think you're watching something that's been around for a while.
And there's no shortage of talent. Sharpoo, the favorite to win the first Drone Nationals, didn't even place in the top 10. The competition was won by an Australian, Chad Novak, from Alive.
Well, if you told me 6 months ago if there'd be drone racing in nationals, I would have said you're crazy. But the fact that this is happening the way it is, I'd say it's more than plausible that in 6 months to a year to 5 years that this will be a legitimate sport and that I could actually be doing this as a job. It's definitely the million-dollar question.
Drone racing could be the sport of the future. It could also be a flop. But right now, the money and momentum behind it only seems to be growing. In 2016, there are national competitions planned in over a dozen countries. Dubai just hosted the biggest drone race ever and gave out $1 million in cash prizes. It was won by a 15-year-old from England.
What excites me about drone racing, what excites me about this whole thing is every person under the age of 15 that I know either wants a drone or has a drone. We're about to raise a generation of pilots.
Do you play video games?
Nope. I don't know. So this is my video game.
I see 12-year-olds now who are just master drone pilots, and I think when you're 20, what are you going to have to do with a drone? I can't even imagine it, but I know it's going to be spectacular.